Chair.
Good job, Kevin.
This has been a surreal hearing, a surreal experience. I am so fortunate. I'm the mother of 2 children. They're adults now, 26 years old. My son is 26 years old. He's in law school. My daughter's 24, and she's working on her license to be a social worker. I am so proud of them, so proud of the role that their father, my husband, and I played in their education. And our goal always was to ensure that our kids had a robust education, that there were great debates that they participated in so that they could be part of a country that honors and uplifts important debates and discussions. I wanted them to be prepared as possible for the workforce, and I am so grateful that they are not young people in school today. And when I talk to constituents of mine who are parents with school-age children, who share with me what their number one concern is. Their number one concern is that their kids will not come home because we are a country awash in guns, and that their kids have to go through horrific drills that mimic school shootings. That is the real crisis in our schools today. That is the real crisis for young people in America. And instead of talking about that and confronting that crisis and talking about how we can create places that are safe for kids so that they can survive yet another day without fear of gun violence, this is what we're talking about. There's not been any evidence whatsoever of anyone being arrested or prosecuted, and instead now we have this extremist agenda that seeks to create the most limiting experience possible for children by limiting their access to important books about slavery, about the Holocaust, about aspects of human history that are important for us to learn from. Ms. Johnson, can you talk a little bit about the real chilling effect that laws such as the educational gag order can have on parents, students, and teachers?
Yes, thank you for the question. What we are seeing with these laws is, as you know, it's essentially a threefold issue. The first is that educators now do not know what they are permitted to say based on what a political official has told them they can or cannot say in the classroom. The second is that there are now parents who are having less and less of being able to have input into what's happening in the schools. And as mentioned before, we do believe that parents have an essential role to play alongside teachers, alongside other educators in what happens in schools. And the third is that the students are not getting information. The entire point here is that we are talking about access. We want students to have access to information. As I've noted previously, the Supreme Court has held long ago that the First Amendment rights do not stop at the schoolhouse gate. That also extends to students, and it extends to the receipt of information. When we are not allowing students to have access to information, when we are not teaching them about the very basics of our history, we are doing them a disservice. And I completely understand. We might have disagreements in this room. We might agree, maybe be surprised with whom we agree about what actually should take place, what actually should be taught in the classroom, to what age, in what manner. I completely get that. But what we don't want to see is a legislative ban saying it must be silenced. What we need to be doing is talking about it. Let's converse, let's discuss, let's debate, let's figure out what's best. Let's not silence.
Thank you so much, Ms. Johnson. One last thing that I'd like to say. I've had the privilege of meeting with many teachers in my district, and teachers have a really tough job. They have to balance a lot of needs that the kids have. And the last thing that we should be doing with professionals who we are lucky to have in the workplace, like the great teachers that teach across this nation, is inserting politics into their job. So it is my hope that this committee and this subcommittee can get back to focusing on real issues that American families face, so that we can create the best kind of environment for our kids so that they can then go on and become as competitive and brilliant as they can be as part of our workforce future. Thank you so much. I yield back.